Hi, my name's Josh and this is my tool presentation video. A common issue that occurs in the early stages of asset creation are that moving these dense models around softwares can be very, very difficult. Imagine you take your beautifully finished, sculpted asset in ZBrush and try and move it into a different software. In most cases, it slows it down or crashes the software entirely. But this tool should speed up your workflow and make your life a bit easier.
Firstly, go into your digital assets and select the de-denser tool. Scroll up to the top of the menu and you'll notice the first step is importing your dense model. I've prepared one already for the demonstration of this video. You'll notice this model is very dense. It has a 266,000 poly count, and this can be quite hard to move around different softwares. And the second step is fixing and assigning color IDs to your model. Select the button to start the process, and you'll notice that each part now has a color ID assigned to them. The third step is the Polyreduce stage. Here you select the percentage of the model you want to keep. The smaller the number, the smaller the poly count. I'm going to go for 10%. Then click this button to start the process. Beware, for very dense models, this process can take up to 2 minutes, which I've specified on the button, so users aren't confused why their screen might freeze or slow down. Now that it's finished, you'll notice that your model is now poly-reduced, with a significant reduction of poly count. Below you have the viewing options to toggle your high poly original model and the one that's just been reduced, so that you can compare. Then the final stage, the fourth stage, is baking your texture maps. I've made it aware above this button for the users to go and adjust the settings before clicking this. The first setting you can adjust is the directory of the texture maps output. For beginners, I've made it obvious so that you can just change the insert file name in the directory. This tool does require you to have a basic understanding of the Houdini interface. Next, you can change the resolution of your texture maps. Then below you can also adjust the tracing mode and the trace distance for your bake. Then next you can change the output directory for your low poly model export. I've also given you the option to toggle it off, but most of the time you will need to export this. Lastly, you have a texture map list. Select the ones you want to use by toggling the button. Then the last thing to do is tap this button to export your low poly model and also bake your maps down into the directory that you've set. This can take a bit of time if your model is really complex, but usually takes up to 20 seconds. And you'll notice now in the folder you directed all these to that you have the selected texture maps and also the low poly model.